Hi, the Lee Farnell here, and thanks for listening to Leading Your Best Life. Today we're going to talk about sales training, sales enablement, how you get a boost in your sales. How and why would you bother with this area of sales training or sales enablement? What the hell is the difference? Stay tuned. Welcome back. These days we do hear a lot about sales enablement, sales empowerment, sales training, sales coaching. Where does it all fit in, and what is the crucial difference? If you're serious about improving your sales, you need to have all of these tools in your toolbox. So I want to talk to you about it today, because obviously sales training is where, of course, you're sitting in a room or you're doing online, where you're teaching specific tools, teaching specific methodology, prospecting, sales planning, strategic questioning, active listening, closing questions, getting commitment, handling objections. A whole range of areas go into, and in fact in our CZ6 colour zone system, we train in a whole range of these topics within the 6 colour zones. But sales training is then different than sales enablement. First of all, sales enablement is one, identifying and mapping your sales process. What the hell is your sales process? Do your sales reps, do your team have a process? If it's not written down, you don't have a process. The process is going to be documented. There'll be checklists, there'll be paperwork, there'll be audits, there'll be training, there'll be measurement, there'll be dashboards, there'll be KPIs. So again, we've done a lot of this in the CZ6 system, where you can take our templates and use those. But one, capturing and documenting the sales process. And again, we recommend not just doing it in writing, but doing it also through video, so you can use it in the scaling of your business. We're talking about empowering your sales team. Part of the empowerment is, one, how you select and induct, and in particular, how you onboard your sales team. How you give them not only product knowledge, but process knowledge. Historically, what's happened is companies have given tons of product knowledge, and reps think that therefore dumping product knowledge on people is the answer, rather than active listening, a two-way communication, engaging the client. The other part of sales enablement, besides process and playbook and onboarding and a range of systems to empower salespeople, is how you go about using technology to support your sales team. Do they have iPads? Do they have schedules? Do they have a CRM? What is the way your technology gets your reps and your team to, one, know, am I on track? How am I going? Am I up to date? How do I help my teammates? What if I need help from my teammates or manager? You want to make sure you got the right technology. And then, of course, the other component about enablement is how you track and utilize data. What's the analytics? How are they performing against their KPIs? Where's the real-time data? I'm coming back. I remember a client going, they were for months and months always behind budget, and I said to them when I sat in on one of the sales meetings, hang on, when are you guys getting your numbers? How do you know if you're on budget or not on budget during the month? And they said, we don't know. We only ever find out at these meetings whether we were on budget or not. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's literally like a pilot trying to fly from Melbourne to Perth with no dashboard, no map, no way of knowing, am I on track or not? And then eventually, when you end up in Broome instead of Perth, you say, well, geez, we didn't get where we wanted to go. Well, what was your mechanism for staying on track and then correcting? You're going to need to have that. So that's part of the whole sales enablement. Now, there's a range of other things, but there are at least 3 or 4 things you need to make sure you've got in your sales enablement. When it comes to sales enablement, another key component we talk about is, one, the relationship between marketing and sales. The marketing team and the sales team being aligned. In 80% of companies we've done work in, the marketing team's doing its own thing, the sales team are doing their own thing, and the salespeople saying the marketing people just put out a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't relate to anything that we do, but it makes them feel warm and cozy, makes the chief exec feel warm and cozy, or the MD, but the marketing is just fluff. It doesn't actually help us sell. That's again where you work with us, and we'll show you how the yellow zone and how we can actually, or in the yellow zone, how we get alignment with marketing that actually not only pre-positions you and the company and the rep well, but also generates leads, a qualified lead generator. So we can talk more about this if you want to follow up with this. Find out more about how the CZ6 system does that. The other side of it is the sales training, and what we know is 84% of trainings that sales reps receive during an onboarding process is forgotten in the first 3 months, and sometimes in the first 7 to 30 days. So there's ways you have to actually reinforce the onboarding sales training of the sales system or the sales playbook so that it sticks and is used. You also want sales training in the area of deal closing so that people are actually taught, how do I take a prospect on a journey, we call it the Pomvik journey, and understand the position of the buyer and then get them to develop a strong action plan and a commitment to buy. And how do I overcome that hump? How do I overcome that hump where they're holding back? And of course, the other side of it in terms of both enablement and training, and this is where the two come together, is how you do engaging sales kickoffs. You know, most companies do a sales kickoff at least once a year, sometimes once every 2 years. But what do you do when you get them all together to actually not only motivate but educate, share new products, share new sales initiatives, train the team on updated sales processes, gather feedback, and build the actual energy? I say the sales team is an emotional beast, so how you actually build their motivation, how you build their esprit de corps where they love your company and love working together. In fact, I was reading just the other day in the CEO Diary book where one of the principles he talks about, particularly in startups, is you want people, it's almost like a cult. They're so committed to the purpose and the mission of the company. It's about the management of the energy. Now, what we know about sales training is sales training really can and does boost revenue. We know that there's plenty of research to show that the return on investment of sales training stands at around 353%. I mean, where else can you invest in something and know you're going to get 353% return? And of course, it's a great communication tool for discussing new processes, the existing process, product, methodology, to practice it, rehearse it, drill it, PDR. Practice, drill, rehearse, repeat. Sales training serves as an excellent communication tool for teaching reps about also all those sales enablement processes and the methodologies around sales playbook, dashboards, CRM, use of collateral, improving the collateral. We certainly did that with our client across Asia. To go, let's design and create marketing collateral that, one, tells the story, and two, actually positions and generates leads, but is done in such a way that the client goes, wow, this is valuable information. You've really helped me. You've given me new insights. So you want to find out more. If you're committed to growing sales, to enable and empower your sales team to actually, as we say, sales are the blood, the oxygen, the lifeblood of any organisation. You want more oxygen, you've got to have more sales. You want more sales, then you need to invest in sales training, sales enablement. Well, what's the alternative? Don't invest in sales training. Don't invest in sales enablement. Have people out in the marketplace who aren't as skilled as they should be, who are actually burning qualified leads, burning marketing opportunities, burning customers, and then wonder why you aren't hitting your numbers. Want to avoid that? Touch base, Lee Farnell, leefarnell.com. DM me, hit the link below. Let's have a 15-minute meeting to go, where's your sales at right now? How enabled are your sales team? How empowered are they? And what is your frequent quality contact approach to empowering and maximising the performance of your sales team? That answers the question. Sales enablement, sales training, who needs it? Every company. You and I need it. Here we go. Thanks for listening. I'm Lee Farnell. See you next time.